The Nintendo DS was one of the most revolutionary consoles out there at the time. First off, we will be talking about the history of the Nintendo DS and my story with the Nintendo DS. Let's go off with the history. The Nintendo DS was, it was released in 2004 as a dual-screen console handheld that had touchscreen abilities on it. That was mostly its gimmick, touchscreen. And during the time, it was supposedly used as a third pillar, just in case if the console would fall, they would start still using Game Boy. Unlike it though, it succeeded very well. Very well. Many things have happened with the 3DS, including one of the first full 3D handheld console. Kind of. The Game Boy Advance had a bit of 3D in it, but it was more of a like an illusion or something to make it look 3D. I can't really put it in words, but yeah, it was the first handheld to use 64-bit while keeping the polygon level a bit dense. Reason why Super Mario 64, why it's so clean, that's because there was a lot more polygons, but yet they smoothed it out, even though some moments you can see it. The Nintendo DS was released around November of 2004, where it would release in the public. One of the first games was Super Mario 64 DS, which was really high quality at the time. In fact, it was really groundbreaking during its moments. The Nintendo DS would later release other games, including Mario Kart DS, New Super Mario Bros. DS, and Bowser's Inside Story, including others such as Mario Party DS and Partners in Time. And the thing is, it started to get commercially successful and critically acclaimed when it just released. Basically, they knew it was going to be good. In fact, it's the number one best-selling handheld and the second best-selling console with 154 million units sold. At second place after the PlayStation 2, obviously. And unfortunately, its life wouldn't really last long. Most consoles last between 5 to 7 years. This one kind of lasted 6. It started formally getting less known around 2010. And, of course, it kind of started dying around 2012. In fact, the last first-party game was in 2012. Same with the Wii, but that's a different story. Because of the 3DS becoming a thing, it would start formally dying, and 3D was becoming the new thing. Yeah, there was 3D on it, but you couldn't just flip it to 3D. No, you couldn't do that. But during its time, it had many good things on it. There was PictoChat, a formerly social thing with 3DS to chat with friends that are like from across the other room or in a different classroom. And can sometimes even, let's say you were on the 3rd building, it would go all the way down almost to the 1st building. That's how strong the signal was trying to get Fortunately, it wasn't too strong, as if once you walked outside, bye-bye. Around 2000, it also had Game Boy Advance backwards compatibility, which really blew up, including the Game Boy was also a selling hit. So, yeah, the Game Boy Advance was a selling hit, yeah. Base so around 2006 they would release the DS, the Nintendo DS Lite, in which it wouldn't feel too clunky and janky, because if you look at the original model, it's pretty fat around the bottom screen. They later on smoothed it out to kind of look like a 3DS, except it's not the XL. Around 2008, they would release the Nintendo DSi, including with the Nintendo DSi XL. The DSi, oh geez, the Nintendo DSi had a photo channel. Basically, you could take photos of yourself and mess with your face. It also had sound channel, and specifically the most popular ones, Flipnote Studios and the shopping channel. Those were hits. Even though most of the shopping channels have shovelware like the Wii, it was still pretty popular at the time. Flipnote Studios was a thing where you could draw art on and keep it in a gallery or send it online. Unfortunately, I couldn't have that because we didn't have online back then. I'm pretty sure. Uh, yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, because I never went online. I didn't even know what the internet was besides a computer and phones. So yeah. Also, there was also this other one called the DSi Internet browser, and it would connect to the internet, in which you can go on every single website, including uh R34 sites. Yeah, since I didn't have internet, I did not find out about that part. Although I think some games, jeez. So yeah, basically the DSi also lived on to sell around 30 million units. Pretty good. And then there's DSi XL. Around 2007, I also had the console. Or a DS Lite. I think it was 2006 or 2007. And then around 2008 or 9, I got a DSi Lite. No, a DSi XL. And those were my two main things. Because those were the only things. And it got really popular. School had them a lot, and lots of it was kind of becoming a popular trend. It wasn't really a trend, it was game. Obviously it's going to get popular unless if you're a third party company that thinks they can do better. So yeah, and around 2010 they released some other stellar games that I used to play, specifically Mario vs. Donkey Kong Mini Land Mayhem. That was good. But yeah, it was the dying days of the DS. And although the DSi was quite still popular, it was also going down. So basically, they knew they had to do something. And within a year, they made the Nintendo 3DS, and a year later, they would make also the 3DS XL in 2012. The 3DS, that's a different story. We'll talk about that one soon, in like maybe a week. Basically, the last DS and DSi game was 2012. I think it was a Pokemon game. I can't specifically remember. I am pretty sure it was a Pokemon game. And although lots of people still make shovelware, Ubisoft, it's still a pretty. It was, even looking back at it, it was. How do I put this? It was really awesome at the time, And in fact, it was just groundbreaking. The graphics were good. Everything was awesome and neat. And then the DS just had to go down like that. Now, that was specifically DS wrote. And now let's talk about my story. In 2007, I was 3 years old at the time, so I don't know how, but yeah, I got my first DS. I can't specifically remember stuff besides when I was 4 years old. I could have gotten it when I was 4 years old, but yeah. And these were my first games: Mario Kart DS, Super Mario 64, and Mario Party DS. I unfortunately don't have it anymore. These games were really awesome. These games were really popular. Lots of these kids had it at my preschool. And I really enjoy these games. And I'll start reviewing the games that I can remember. Super Mario, but I want to kind of talk about my life first before we get to the games. Around, and after a couple years, around between 2008 to 2010, I got the DSi, and it was awesome. The DSi XL specifically. So I had a really big DS, and I would start bringing it around. And this was also when I started to go to elementary school, so I would show it off a lot to people while acting weird. and when I got a couple days before I got the DSi, I got New Super Mario Bros. DS. This game is really fun. It is the best New Super Mario game I've ever played. Ever. And then around a couple years later, I got a game called Kirby Mass Attack. Unfortunately, I wasn't a big fan of Kirby, and since it was on the DS and I had a 3DS at the time, I was like, oh, what's this game? Mm-mm. And I kind of regret not keeping it. That kind of sucked. And yeah. And then around like 2012, 2013, I got a 3DS XL. And I got a blue one at first, and then around Christmas of 2013, after my little brother destroyed it, I got this. And I don't want to get into too much detail. But yeah. And that's when my DS days were dying off. Luckily, the 3DS was DS compatible. And I knew this because, I played lots of these games on the 3DS. So, yeah. And then around January 2017, my dad from Jacksonville got me 3 games. One was Super Paper Mario, another one was Super Mario Sunshine, and it was Mario and Luigi Bowser's Inside Story. After I got this game, I started to kind of game more with 3DS. I mean, the DS games, and I started buying some more. Unfortunately, they're on Virtual Console, the Wii U, which is pretty nice. And I later on went and got Mario Party DS, and then hold on, I think it was Mario and Luigi Partners in Time also. Yeah, Mario and Luigi Partners in Time is stellar. It's my second favorite in the series. Bowser's Inside Story is my third. So yeah, that's my whole life. I plan to get more DS games. I've been kind of collecting more GameCube games though, and a couple Wii games. But yeah, I kind of want to start collecting DS games, including that I have this thing that's kind of running down the shithole though. So that's the thing. Now let's get to the game. This game was fun. I am the only person that actually enjoyed the D-pad. Sure, it sucked absolute balls, but hey, You gotta love this. You gotta love this. I actually bought this around 2015 when I sold my Xbox 360 to get a couple of DS games. This was one of them, and it was also Mario Kart DS because I lost those two. And there's this kid named Alex and Raphael. It says 12, so yeah. I shouldn't have really said that, but it doesn't show much. So yeah, I got Super Mario 64 DS. And this game was actually pretty revolutionary during the time. 3D on a handheld that didn't look like a pixel garbage hole. And it kind of looked like a kind of a polygon mess, but it was really cool. I actually really enjoyed this game. Speaking of which, that just reminds me. When I got this game, I did not know how to unlock Luigi or Wario. There was not really much hints to give it to me. So I was kind of confused during the time being. And I also didn't know how to unlock the red caps thingy. So the red blocks. So yeah, that was another thing. I do now, but back then I didn't. Yeah, I love this game. It does have some problems, but it's a really good game. I would recommend if you're starting to get some DS games. Really would recommend. So yeah. Next is Mario Kart DS, my favorite Mario Kart game ever. This released around 2005, and yeah, it's basically another Mario Kart, except it was on handheld and it was 3D, like almost every Mario Kart. Yeah, I really like this game. I also didn't know how to unlock all characters besides Daisy and Dry Bones. Set on the corner of my screen. I don't know if it's catching the roof or something. Probably is. But yeah, this game. Let me actually get closer just to fix it while I'm talking about it. Yeah, this game was kind of cool. Oh, it's a cabinet. Duh. Okay. Yeah, this game was pretty cool at the time. I didn't know how to unlock Waluigi or the Rob robot. But yeah, it was actually really cool. I actually have all unlocked characters now because when I bought it, it was already unlocked and I didn't feel like clearing the data. So yeah, that was really cool. This game was awesome. I would recommend it. It's not the best, but it's my favorite to me because it was a nostalgia classic. Next, we got New Super Mario Bros. 2006. This is the best one. You all might be saying New Super Mario Bros. Wii is the better one, but that was kind of a bit more generic for me. This one, it was so creative. I loved it. It will forever be my favorite DS game ever. This game is good. In fact, it's not just good, it's excellent. This game sold 30 million units. This is really good. If you already got a DS and you don't have this game, get it. You must get it. It is really fun. Everything in this game is creative. The multiplayer, it's not the best, but if you got a friend and if you're like waiting an hour for like at the doctor's or like waiting an hour till a party starts, this is a game that you should play multiplayer on. It even has mini games on it. It's really nice. I would really recommend it. And Mario and Luigi Bowser's Inside Story, really good. I'm just not a big fan of it. It's my third favorite, but some of the gimmicks were a bit too hard, and lots of the mini games were impossible. I really liked how this used the D-pad. No, not the D-pad. The touch stylus. Unlike Partners in Time back there, where it only used it once. This one uses it a lot, and I really like it. This game, I also really like that Bowser's a playable character. That's a really cool part, and you get to attack with his moves and stuff like that. Yeah, that was kind of cool. And let's talk about some other games. I need a drink. My mouth is running. Uh, Kirby Mass Attack. Yeah, let's go with that one first. It was okay. I liked how you could copy, but unfortunately, I wasn't a big fan of the game, so I lost interest immediately. Because, Mario was my thing back then. Nothing could have beaten Mario when I was like 7. So yeah, also Skylanders, but we don't talk about that. So yeah, another thing is I can't really give much detail because I only played like during the first 3 levels and I basically gave up. Um. Oh yeah, I remember the story. I just want to tell this. There was a Nintendo 3DS, a blue Nintendo 3DS that was left in our cabinet space, and we didn't know where it come from. No one robbed the house. No one did anything. It was just a blue 3DS. It was not mine at the time. I did have a blue 3DS, but that blue one was covered in stickers. Not mine, the other one. And then I don't know, something happened with it. I think we threw it away or gave it to charity. So yeah. And that wasn't a DS, it was a 3DS. Oh, I gotta get on topic. Uh let's go back. Mario versus Donkey Kong Mini Land Mayhem. That game was hard, and yet somehow I somehow still beat it. I don't remember creating levels on it. I think you have to be on online. Or no, yeah, I do remember creating levels. That was really good. It was kind of like the Mario Maker back then, except you had a limited. I mean, Mario Maker does have a limited amount of tools, but like you had small limited amount of tools. Like there was only like 10 tools you could use. But yeah, it was fun. One of the levels that specifically stuck out to me was this desert level. I tried solving it for ages, and yet I could not beat it until one day, somehow, I solved it correctly, and I got past it, and I defeated the game. That game was hard, undefeatable, if you can say, but yeah, I defeated it, because I'm a champ. Yeah, not really. I suck at many games. So yeah, that was a top game. That's one of my games I really want, including with the Mario vs. Donkey Kong March of the Minis too. So yeah. Um and now let's talk about the VC games that I remember. Uh Mario and Luigi Partners in Time and Mario Party DS. So let's go with Mario Party DS first, because that was a nostalgia hit. Everyone had Mario Party DS at my school. Basically, you could not ask someone if they had a 3DS without hearing Mario Party DS, Mario Party DS. Oh, look at me! I have Mario Party DS. Am I cool yet? You are. But yeah, I really love Mario Party DS. That I even bought it on VC. I don't even know how to work the multiplayer though, so yeah, and I haven't touched it in quite a while. But if you have a DS and don't have do not buy it on Virtual Console unless if you feel like just playing Mario Party DS by yourself or you know how to work the multiplayer. I wouldn't really recommend the VC. If you have a DS and a couple of your friends have a DS, get it. It is a must need. It's not the best DS game, but it's really fun. In fact, it's the best Mario Party game, the last good Mario Party game before the series went downhill and went with cars. And now Mario and Luigi Partners in Time. That game was hard. I got it around It's specific. Nah, it can't be around 2017. No way. No, it was not 2017. It was 2016. Yeah, around October of 2016, I got the game, and I finally defeated it actually a couple weeks ago. And I was so happy because that final boss is hard. You have three final bosses: Princess Shroob, Elder Shroob, and Elder Shroob Transformation, and then there's Shrouzer, but hey, they don't talk about them. So yeah, those games, that boss was hard. That took hours, including I was under level. I'm an under leveled kind of guy. I don't farm for XP a lot. So yeah, I've been doing that with my replay of Dream Team, but that's a different thing, obviously. And Partners in Time, it's not the best in the series. I love it. It's my second favorite, but it's not the best in the series. In fact, many people consider Bowser's Inside Story over Partners in Time. That's because Partners in Time story kind of goes off near the end, and it makes it less fun, including many of the enemies that are really hard to defeat. One of my favorite areas in the games was Vim Factory. I don't know, man. It was kind of creepy, and I also liked Star Hill because it's Star Hill. I really like the music. It makes me think of shipping characters while they're sitting on the Star Hill. Yeah, I don't know. That's kind of weird, but hey, we all have our minds. Now let me tell you. Now you might be wondering, why did it take you so long to beat it? If the game only takes when you're a casual player, it only takes a couple weeks or between a couple weeks to 2 months. Reason is when I was near the final boss, I could not beat it. Even with the virtual console save, it was really hard. So I gave up and I completely forgot about the game because I was getting more games on the way. So yeah. And then I decided, hey, why don't we try to complete it? And after my cousin's help, by texting me that to try my best, and I beat it. It's over finally. Jeez, that game is hard near the end. Trust me. If you're under leveled, it's gonna get really hard. Would I recommend the DS version? No, unless if you farm a lot. Unless if you're a farmer, you shouldn't really get the DS version. I would appreciate the Wii U Virtual Console version because you get a lot of save storage, save storage. Sorry, that's a lot of S. So yeah, basically, yeah, it's a recommended, not a big one, but yeah, just try it out when you have a chance. You could even wait for the Switch, even though they said they're probably not going to use the virtual banner anymore. So yeah, they're gonna do something with it. Don't worry. So yeah, the entirety of the DS was my childhood. It was my favorite. The 3DS overtakes it because I've had the 3DS for longer. I think it was 6 years. So yeah, unlike my DS, the DS and DSi altogether only had 4.5 years of my life. So obviously, I'm gonna love this one better. But yeah, it's a really good console. It's one of the best. So yeah, this is basically my review of the DS, and I'll see you all out. Gamecube's next, by the way. I'm just waiting for Eternal Darkness.